Well, it's hello and it's welcome to PerthshireOnlineTV. And Lindsay's got a few special hellos to say to people today, don't you?
I have indeed. It's hello from us to Thomas and Michelle from Austin in Texas, and also to CJ in South Carolina, both in the US. Both of them got in touch with us because they are desperate to get hold of the Highland Chocolatier chocolates. I think they watched that whole section and were desperate to get hold of some good UK chocolate. So just for you guys and for everybody else out there that's after some chocolate, you can now go to our website, and if you just click on the link in the food and drink section, you'll see those chocolates there up for sale, and you can make your own order.
So is the chocolate that different over here from over in the States? I don't know, I've never been to the States actually.
It's like night and day, Gavin, honestly. Chocolate in the US is terrible compared to what we have here, yes, absolutely.
Well, that's fantastic news for the Highland Chocolatier then, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Great opportunity.
So what have we got coming up on the show today?
Well, Christmas is sneaking up on us rapidly, and I know the ladies need to start preparing early.
They do. If you're cooking, ladies, I'm informed that you need to put your sprouts on right now.
Not that early, surely. And on that note, well, we've Graeme Pallister, the chef, on later in the show, but I'm positive it won't include a feature on sprouts. And we've also two beauty features as well. An independent consultant from Arbonne was with us to talk about their anti-aging range, and we've some people from Copperfields hairdressing as well, showing us how we can create fabulous party hair for Christmas events. We've also got Councillor Kellas from Perth and Kinross Council, who will be here talking about city status and where we are with that, and our vision for the future in Perth.
Great. And of course we've got our regular What's On and the Hub features as well.
Fantastic. And it's on with the show.
It's time to outgrow aging. With a powerful system of products, clinically proven to start working in 24 hours. Introducing RE9 Advanced. RE9 Advanced synergizes not one, but 9 major age-defying elements and botanicals in a breakthrough approach that delivers clinically proven visible results in 24 hours. It's time to outgrow aging with RE9 Advanced, exclusively from Arbonne.
Hello, I'm Lindsay Fielding. Welcome to the show today. We're going to be talking about anti-aging, and my guest in the studio today is Carolyn Bailey from Arbonne. Carolyn, talk to us about ageing, the ageing process. We're all getting older. What can we do about it?
Well, there is actually a lot we can do about it, because most people would like to blame their parents for how they age, but actually only 10% of ageing is due to hereditary reasons, and actually 90% is to do with the environment and sun damage. So there is actually something we can do about it.
See, I always thought it was to do with good genetics. You know, if your mother looks great, you know that you're going to be looking great when you're older, but that's not the case.
Well, there's a small element of that, it's true, as I said, 10%, but most of it is to do with environmental damage and the toxins that are around us, day-to-day pollution, and sun damage is the main factor.
So, well, I mean, most of us by the time we get to our mid-30s, I would think, have picked up quite a bit of sun damage. What can we do about that? Is there anything we can do about that now?
Well, yes, today we're going to talk about the Arbonne range of products. Arbonne products are Swiss formulated, botanical based, and they're ultra premium. They don't really come much better than Swiss. And we have a full range of anti-aging products that will actually make a considerable difference. In the tests that we did with this product range, RE9 Advanced, we had some very high percentage rates in terms of how people saw the visible differences, and in fact saw a visible difference within 24 hours of starting to use the range.
Wow, I think we've got some slides of that. This particular range, the RE9 range, you can see here on the screen. And we're going to be talking about a number of the products in this range and demonstrating them for you. But didn't you do a test with a group of women and got some feedback from them about the results?
Yes, so all of Arbonne's products are tested by independent bodies. As we take a look at some of these before and after pictures, you can really see how using the system together has a tremendous effect on even deep-set wrinkles like these ones on the forehead after 4 weeks of using the system.
And that's quite an amazing difference, isn't it? When you look at that image in just 4 weeks, it's
quite substantial. As is this one, in fact. You know, a number of people as they get older have the jowly cheek look, and there again you can see how the skin is much plumper and you know, radiant as well just after a short time.
It looks very much more moisturised. The sort of the after picture.
Yes,
the first one.
I mean, all of the, you know, we've got you know, a lot of antioxidants and vitamin C in these products, which are all about sort of hydrating and making the skin more plump. This eye product is tremendous as well. Again, after 4 weeks, you can see how those deep inset wrinkles around the eyes have been considerably reduced.
And this will be the eye cream in the range, will it, that's achieved that effect?
Yes, absolutely. Although there are some other products that you can take right up into the eye area, but in particular the eye cream is particularly you know, fabulous, works really well.
So at what age should we start using something like RE9?
Well, we have other product ranges that younger people can use from their teens right up to sort of late 20s. And I suppose everyone gets to that point in their early 30s where they think, I'm starting to see something, and really they can start using this at any time. We've also had very good results on adult acne with the RE9 Advanced range as well, for generally clearing up skin and making it more radiant and brighter.
But I think you can see from the pictures that we showed, it's never too late to start.
Absolutely, yes, because we can, as I said, most of it is sun damage, and you can actually reverse the effects of that.
Great.
Hi, I'm Derek, and I'd like to welcome you to Copperfields.
Hi, I'm Steph. So today what I'm doing is basically just prepping Louisa's hair first before we do the hair up. Just because basically if you don't prep the hair first and you don't put the correct products into it, it will fall out.
Hello and welcome to What's On in Perthshire this week. Well, just some of the things, and we're going to start off by Men Should Weep. Fantastic play. Now this starts on Tuesday the 15th to Saturday the 26th of November at the Perth Theatre. It starts at 7:45 p.m. and matinees start at 2:30 p.m. Now Men Should Weep. Now this is set amid the poverty of Glasgow's tenements in the 1930s. It follows the misfortunes of the Morrison family. Ina Lamont Stewart's play is a depiction of hand-to-mouth poverty in the working class people lived in at that time. At the centre of the story is Maggie, the careworn matriarch, supported and hindered in equal amounts by her neighbours and her family, who it is impossible to keep any secrets from. She does her very best in the worst of circumstances, always putting herself last. It's laugh out loud funny, and at times very, very tragic, but always thought-provoking. It was written in 1947 and was ahead of its time. This is a major new production by the National Theatre of Scotland and will introduce this very much loved work to a new generation of theatre goers. Men Should Weep, don't forget, is at the Perth Theatre. It starts on Tuesday the 15th to Saturday the 26th of November, starts at 7:45 p.m. Saturday matinee is at 2:30 p.m. Box office there is 017 3862 1031. Thursday the 17th of November at the Perth Concert Hall at 8 p.m. is Chris Addison in his new show The Time Is Now. Again, Chris, fresh from the TV shows The Thick of It, Mock the Week and Have I Got News for You, and his sellout tour. This is a top-class stand-up from one of the classiest stand-up comics around. You should come and see him. We must tell you, though, that it contains adult humour and a little bit of swearing. Chris Addison, The Time Is Now. Again, Perth Concert Hall, Thursday night, 17th of November at 8 p.m. Now on Tuesday the 22nd of November at the Perth Concert Hall, we've also got another comedian, Omid Jalili. Now his show's called The Tour of Duty. Now the multi-award-winning stand-up comic is coming to Perth. He is a television and a movie star as well, and he is back on tour with his brand new comedy show. He's a brilliant live comedian. Omid was also the winner of the Best Actor award for his lead performance in the film The Infidel, which also picked up an award for the funniest film. So make sure you go and see Omid, and you've got the details there. It's a Tour of Duty, Perth Concert Hall, on Tuesday the 22nd of November at 8 p.m. Tie to Tay, Tuesday the 15th of November at 6:30 p.m. What is Tie to Tay? Well, Tie to Tay celebrates the local Chinese community at work and in their homes. It's the latest exhibition at the Perth Museum and Art Gallery and part of the official opening at 6:30. Firecrackers will be set off in the plaza. Now, this display is expected to last about 15 minutes. Also part of the display is a traditional Chinese lion dance. It will take place accompanied by a drummer. Ho, 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 everybody. Ho, ho, ho. Now, you wondered what my other job was, didn't you? Hey, now listen. Christmas is coming to Perth, and the Perth Christmas lights will be switched on Sunday the 20th of November at 4 p.m. And I believe in front of the concert hall, so make sure you're all there to sing your Christmas carols. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Now, this is not just about Perth, and don't forget, let us know what events are going on. Now, in Comrie, we've got the Winter Lights. We've got a weekend going on there. Now, this is on Saturday the 3rd and 4th of December. Now, it's a winter event. There'll be choirs and music, a craft fair, bonfire, fireworks. Sounds fantastic. You'll even get to make, if you want, lanterns and candles as well. Now, there's another great event happening as well on the 25th of November at the Crieff Hydro Hotel. This is the annual dinner for the Business Star Awards 2011. Now, it's supported by the Perth and Kinross Council. The tickets also include drinks, reception and dinner. The awards will be followed by entertainment and dance through to the small hours with the Big Vern and the Shooters. It's hosted by Radio Tay's Gary Robinson and Maureen Young. Now, I just want to remind you as well, if you're a small business and you feel a bit lonely at Christmas because everybody's having parties, but you're so small you can't, well, there's a fantastic do you can go to called the Wee Business Bash by Added Sparkle Events. Now, it's in conjunction with Perthshire Online, Perth Chamber of Commerce and the Best of Perth and Kinross. It's on Thursday night, the 15th of December at 7 p.m. at the Reed's Restaurant on the High Street. Now, if you want to do a little bit of business networking as well, I would go to the 4 Networking. Now, the next one will be held at Hetty's Tea Rooms in Perth on Wednesday the 16th of November at 8 a.m. Yes, I did say 8 a.m. You'll be having your breakfast there, and thereafter every second week. So keep looking out, and if you've got any ideas or anything that's happening in Perthshire, let us all know. And if you want, come into the studio and we'll talk about it.
Hi, and it's welcome to this week's edition of the Community Hub, and we've got Stephen Crofts from The Hub, the leading free newspaper in Perthshire, here with us. Hi Stephen, how are you doing this week?
I'm fine, thank you, Gavin.
Great. Well, let's start off. New edition, and front page story is toilets could cook up a tasty treat.
Yeah, not quite what it sounds. Basically, what it is, the Giraffe Trading, which are a community interest company based in Perth, are looking to open up the Mill Street toilets, the disused derelict toilets up on Mill Street, and convert them into a fully equipped training kitchen and cafe to help people that are They're suffering from mental illness, or they have learning disabilities, for example, and just face everyday hurdles in trying to find and maintain work and training. So what they're going to do is open up a charity shop on South Street just for Christmas. It'll be a Christmas shop. They're looking for donations in order for them to be able to raise the additional £5,500 they need to get the training cafe all up and running. But planning permission has been given, so that's a good start.
Fantastic. Now, Giraffe are actually in the South Street at the moment, aren't they?
They are. They've got a cafe there already and a gift shop. It does very well, all run by volunteers, and most of the people, as I say, do have either a learning disability or mental illness, or they face some kind of hurdle, whether that be Asperger's or autism.
Right. Okay. So it's in South Street, but not the same. Not the same.
No, just across the road.
Just across the road.
The exact location is right across the road from the Salvation Army.
Right, fantastic. Okay, so we move on to the next article. Final round Community Chest Awards announced. Now, I've actually been following this during the course of the year because I'm a big Facebook user, and I know that a lot of the voting actually for the St John's Centre Community Chest Awards has actually been through their Facebook page. So I see that they're round to the last round of the Chest Awards. I think it's been £5,000 in total, and we've got the final three.
Yeah, this round itself is £1,550. I just say that it was all done through voting on social media through the Facebook site of the St John Shopping Centre. So the Fair City Rollers, with 449 votes, they receive an award of £350 for repairs to their indoor roller track. Burlton Tennis Club, 448 votes, they receive £500 towards new tennis balls and table tennis table. And Genefield Swift's Blacks Youth Football Club under 13s, they got 343 votes, and they're receiving £700 towards new outdoor kit.
That's fantastic. Well, it's a really good initiative, and congratulations to the final three. And next one, the 2012 ETAP Caledonia.
Yeah, this happens every year. It's a really, really popular event. It's the kind of a cyclothon through Highland Perthshire. It sold out in record time this year. The tickets or the entries went on or became available in mid-September, and were completely gone within just a matter of weeks.
It's a great event, great tourism boost.
It is, yeah. Over £1 million bought into the Pitlochry and the Highland Perthshire area just as a result of that one event. Great, fantastic for the area.
But this year they've appointed a new charity. As well, that it's going towards the Marie Curie cancer care, which actually pushes some of the monies of the funding for as well, I believe,
yes,
which is great. Next one, last story.
Yep, this is the Provost welcomes Mercure to Perth. For people that aren't familiar with the brand of Mercure, it is a hotel chain. Quite a prestigious chain. They've just taken over the Ramada Jarvis Hotel on Mill Street. And the Provost was there last Friday to open the hotel officially, and commended Chris and all his staff on the exceptional standards of customer care, and also for their attempts to reduce the carbon footprint as well. They're quite a green hotel, but haven't reduced any of the services they provide to the end customer. They've actually done it all behind the scenes, reducing electricity use, water, and detergents, for example, to try and help the hotel become a bit more green.
Great, that's good news. Well, thanks for your time again, Stephen,
no problem.
And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Hi, well, we've got lots of activity happening locally in Perthshire from an economic development perspective with regards our city status bid next year. We're fortunate today to have Councillor John Kellas. John, welcome to PerthshireOnlineTV.
Pleased to be here, thank you.
And John, your portfolio is economic development and infrastructure, is that right?
That's right, it's enterprise and infrastructure to cover as many areas as possible to give encouragement to businesses to develop, and at the same time to make sure the infrastructure's there.
So the big thing at the moment, and from the council's perspective, is our city status application. I think we're the only Scottish town that's looking for that to be awarded city status at the start of next year. What's the timeline from your perspective, John? And we are the only Scottish town. Are we getting lots of support from all the other councils as well?
We're getting tremendous support right across the business community, individuals, other councils, all supporting our bid. It's important for Perthshire, but it's also important for Scotland to see it moving forward. There's been a lot of background work done, a really interesting portfolio put together, so our status bid would be seen as a credible status bid for city status, and at the same time we have advanced it with politicians, the business community, and it's been an extremely good exercise for Perth and Kinross.
Fantastic, because you know, I suppose we up in Perth, we kind of take a few years back and we look down the road towards Dundee and we see the city of Dundee and we see lots of investment happening there at this point in time, a lot of investment happening, and I don't know, maybe there's a feeling sometimes that we're a wee bit of the poor relations up in Perth just now.
I don't think that's the case. It's been really important to see Dundee develop. Dundee was suffering a bit through economic downturn, and it needed something dramatic to happen to change it for the future. And the waterfront project in Dundee is an important part of that. It'll change the whole way we view Dundee, and as a region it will give us a cornerstone to work from, and that has a great benefit to the people in Perth and Kinross. Doesn't mean to say that people in Perth and Kinross won't see major things happening within Perth and Kinross, because that will happen. And an example of that has been, if we look at Highland Perthshire, where we've seen Taymouth Castle project taking off, and that is a really important signal to, if you like, the whole of Perth and Kinross about the way we should be trying to develop and support what's going on. It is one of the 6 areas of Scotland that will get special status for investment. So if there are good projects coming forward, then it's an opportunity for us as a council to tap into the funding and so forth that's available through Scottish Enterprise.
So we should actually be embracing what's happening down in Dundee and actually seeing what the economic development spin-off is up in Perth as a consequence of that to some extent, rather than feeling that there's lots happening up down there and not up in Perth.
Well, if there's huge investment, and it's about £1 billion going to be invested into the waterfront, there'll be business opportunities, there'll be office complexes, and we're seeing the V&A, for example, going in there. And all of these add, if you like, to a better environment for the whole region. And of course, in Perth and Kinross, we've got a wonderful environment in terms of sporting activities, adventure tourism and so forth. And that complements very much what will be happening on the business development side within Dundee. So everybody benefits. It's a win-win for us all.
And we're quite an event-driven local economy here, which is good to see, because that's given vision, it's given employment. There's loads of spin-offs that come with that, isn't there?
That's been tremendously important, because one of the things that's been identified for several years now is that if we can develop an event-driven economy here in Perth and Kinross, we make much better use of the natural environment that we have. We have new things happening, for example, such as the bungee jumping taking place up at Killiecrankie, which is exciting for the younger people and those that...
I believe from what John Masson-Strang said, it's quite exciting for some of the older people as well. It's quite a different age group.
I think it can give us all a fright. Very good indeed. And we've seen things like the ETAP Caledonia introducing cycling in a much more serious way into Perthshire, and that's had huge spin-offs, because not only has it helped, if you like, develop us as a centre of excellence for cycling itself, but in addition to that, we have spin-off festivals taking place in places such as Aberfeldy, where we have a music festival taking place just over the first week in November, which is a great spin-off, and we've got mini cycling events all over the county now.
Fantastic. And from an employment perspective, because I suppose that the great benefit in all of that is the more direct events that actually happen, the spin-off that has into the tourism industry sector. It must be great for some of the younger population from a career management perspective potentially as well, which it maybe wasn't 10 years ago or so.
I think you're correct in that. I think if we look back 10 years ago, perhaps getting involved in the hospitality industry wasn't seen as an important part of maybe a career path for an individual. I think it's now seen as that. We're getting the support of people like Perth College or University of the Highlands, which is very, very good. They're producing specialised courses to help in hospitality management. We're seeing some of the major hotels, getting involved in that, and it's creating an environment where people, young people in particular, who are adversely affected just now through unemployment, seeing an opportunity for a career rather than just a job.
Yeah.
And that's really important looking forward.
No, it is definitely. And PKC, from a partnering perspective, you've been quite innovative in what you've been doing over the past few years, I think, with the sort of support agencies, the intermediaries, and bringing the local businesses on board as part of a leadership team as well.
Yeah, it's been important to do all of these things. We introduced, and it's very unique to Perthshire, a leadership board. And the idea behind that was to make sure that the major businesses who are partners to our success in the future, we could get an understanding in the council of what the key issues were that were affecting them. And it gave an opportunity for them to also engage with us and understand the kind of issues that we're facing in terms of budget constraints and so forth. And the idea was that we would end up maximising, if you like, the resources that are available to us all. And it's through the partnership working we're starting to see some really good results. We're starting to see the effect on the economy, and the infrastructure, businesses and so forth. For example, our unemployment rate, which is obviously of key concern to people, is sitting around about 2.3, I think, percent, compared with a national average of 4.1. Right. So that in itself must be
didn't realise that.
Really positive. Yeah. But within the unemployment rate, one of the areas which we consider to be, if you like, a very serious position is as it affects youngsters. And we've been doing some very positive things there to try and, if you like, address their issues. In the last year, we have had 93 positions opened up within the council itself to give a starter, a taster opportunity to get into employment. From that, and people, youngsters being encouraged to, if you like, get out there and actually start work, over 50% have ended up in positive destinations. So it's initiatives like that that, if you like, try and address, if you like, some of the kind of key things that are happening.
Yeah. And, you know, with the economy at this point in time, there's a big national emphasis on starting up new business and kind of taking control of things yourself. Because, you know, a lot of people say that starting up business in the time of a recession is a great time to do it. And I think one of our leading local entrepreneurs that manages and owns a bus company goes back to the 80s when they started up, and they said it was a great time. I mean, new business startup wise, I see there's things like the UHI, that they've got a business ideas competition. There's obviously still the Star Awards, things like that. You know, from a new business perspective, where are we? And not just from the tourism perspective, but from other services and products.
Well, one of the key things that we identified was that it wasn't just about new starts. New start businesses, you do have to enthuse people to the idea that an area has vibrancy and there are going to be opportunities further down the line. That was one of the key reasons that we identified events as important. It wasn't just for the events and it wasn't just for tourism. It was to create an environment that would be very positive for people to feel they wanted to stay in Perth and Kinross, to work in Perth and Kinross and enjoy Perth and Kinross. But in addition to that, we also identified that existing businesses were also under pressure. And it's a well-known fact that if you're a businessman or a business lady and you're trying to operate your business and you're a small entrepreneur, when it gets tough, it's sometimes quite easy to withdraw. So we've been offering opportunities to, if you like, assist existing businesses to, if you like, overcome some of the key issues that are starting to happen through the recession, and to try and make sure that as many of our businesses as possible not just survive the recession, but are fitter, leaner and better for the future.
Thrive through it, I suppose.
Thrive through it. And in fact, the Business Gateway and ourselves have focused on different key areas to try and make sure that we survive and thrive.
I heard a nice expression the other day, which I hadn't heard before, which was a strategy of sort of village vision to some extent, where a lot of the Perthshire smaller areas such as Comrie and Bankfoot are really taking control of their area to make it very vibrant from an economic perspective.
Well, it's happening actually now right across the whole county. Some are doing it in different ways, but for example in Stanley, you know, a small village peripheral to Perth, but with its own integral issues that they want to address, the community there have set up a trust. And within that trust, they have focused on the key things that that community want to see moving forward for the future. It's not just about planning issues and about where housing might be, but it's also about things like galas and fun activities that people can get involved in and contribute to, if you like, the well-being of the community. We've seen it there. We saw an adjacent village at Bankfoot doing the same thing, where it started out with the community council becoming involved, but that has now spread to many other sectors of the community, where they're all taking, if you like, important steps to drive, if you like, things that are of interest to the local community. We've seen it up in Comrie for the same reason. We've seen it through in Blairgowrie, where great initiatives taking place there, like GrowBiz and so forth, all focused in different areas where they think it's more important for their own village. And that's important to the council, because the council then can focus on the bigger issues and making sure, if you like, that the facilities are there and the encouragement's there to make sure these things can be taken forward.
And we've all got to take responsibility for things ourselves as well.
I think that's absolutely true. It can't all happen from the centre and somebody else doing it. But in Perth and Kinross, we've seen a huge improvement, if you like, in people taking positive actions, and that has to be applauded.
Fantastic. Well, John, thank you very much for popping along today. We hope you'll pop back in again sometime soon, and hopefully that'll maybe be at the start of the year when, I think, is it February 2012, we expect to hear about the city status.
I hope we do, and I hope we're talking about city status for Perth.
I hope we are as well. So let's all keep our fingers crossed and put the date in the diary for February 2012.
Now, Scotland is doing fantastic in the food industry. Now, there's some fantastic chefs in Scotland, and in Perthshire particularly. We've got one of the top ones with us here today. We've got Graeme Pallister here from the 63 Tay Street restaurant. Now, Graeme's a fantastic chef. We've been in there filming and everything, and we're going to have a chat with him and just find out a little bit more about what he's all about and why he's got such a passion for cooking, etc. Cooking. I never said cooking. With being a northerner. So where did your passion for cooking start from?
I suppose since I was knee high to a grasshopper. My mother was always a good cook. I was brought up on good quality food, meat and two veg. Sometimes as a kid you're not going to like that very much, but it was always sustained in me, and I've done the same with my own children. A lot of home cooking. My gran's a cordon bleu, and I have lots of family in Jersey, and they're all sort of orientated in restaurants, so there's a bit of it in the blood. Yeah. So is that where did you actually start thinking of this as a profession? Cooper Angus. I was unbelievably, I was brought up in Cooper Angus. I had a great childhood there, surrounded by great people, and I went to work in an Indian restaurant every weekend. So while my mates were out partying and stuff, I was making gravies and peeling ginger and garlic and things like this, and really actually getting a good grounding in cooking actually in an Indian restaurant, and decided then and there I'd continue doing my hires, but thought I've got a little bit of a bug here, and it was really sort of went from there. I then decided to take a YTS course, which was available back then, and luckily got one of the best YTS placements, a very top quality country house, which at the time was 3 rosettes, etc. So I was.
Whereabouts is that based?
It was at Blairgowrie, it was at Kinloch House, under the Shentel family back in '94, a long time ago. But I spent 2 years there, and really brought me on quicker, faster, and really, got bitten by the bug, and we met my wife there all those moons ago.
Well, you're one of the chefs who's actually changing the face of Scottish cooking, because unfairly, quite often if you mention Scottish cooking to people who are not from Scotland, well, first of all, it has a bad reputation that for Scottish people they're eating the wrong food, they're getting heart attacks, etc., etc., and it's known for its fried Mars bar and its tatties meats, and you're taking it much further than that. So how would you call your style? Well,
I think there's the last 10 years I've seen a great transformation in Scottish cookery, and we've got this Scottish cookery identity now, and the deep fried Mars bar was one of the worst things that's ever happened to Scotland as a cookery base, but we now have this massive tourism push. In the last 10 years I've seen so many smaller restaurants beginning to use local produce, really getting a Scottish food identity, and it's really come on board, and I'm one of quite a few now that are championing Scottish produce and giving ourselves a chance out there to get away from the deep fried Mars bar.
And you have a motto in your restaurant?
Yeah, local, honest, simple.
Local, honest and simple.
Simple, yeah. It sounds, all the chefs I've seen these days are battering these words about local produce, but 5 years ago I set the restaurant up with that ethos in mind, and it's not just about what we do with the food, it's about everything we do with service, how we market ourselves, everything fits into these, this ethos, and it's very, very a pronounced part of what we do.
So you've been cooking from the age of, what, 14?
Yeah, 14, 15.
So what age did you get to when you thought, I want to do this on my own now?
Probably from about the first week. I honestly, and it's a cliche, I thought by the age of 30, when I was about 16, 17, I want my own place. I knew that was the way to go. I knew that I was going to have a very, very hard life ahead of me. There was no denying that. And I have dragged my wife and now family, around and through the heartache of it all with me. And we're beginning to now see that, we're all settled now. But it was a tough time, and I knew that I had to take up to opportunities that were hard and take a different step to others, and just throw everything I had into it, and the passion comes from that, and that's where it all is. And I never stop thinking about food. I drive myself insane sometimes about it. It's continually turning over. I create one thing, I'm thinking about the next. I'm already thinking about January now and February, and that's great. That's great.
Well, that's because you've got a passion for it. And most people have got a passion for what they do. It's not about the money, even though it's important.
No, it's not about the money.
It's important. It's about your dedication to it.
Sure.
And when did you exactly set up your first restaurant?
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was, which one was that?
It's at the 63.
The 63 and you've got that fantastic. Now we came in there as well, and you've got what I found about it as well, you've got top quality food in there, but at really affordable prices.
Yeah, this is one of the perceptions.
It's fantastic.
As you reap a little bit of success and you win a few awards and get noticed, which we don't aim for. I mean, everybody gets. We want everybody to have the same, whether you're an inspector or not. None of this. It's just whoever walks through the door gets the same treatment. And as you start to get a little bit of notoriety, people automatically think, fine dining, get labelled fine dining for starters, which we're not. And all of a sudden you're seen as perceived as expensive. We are 5 courses for £35. You don't have to have the 5 courses. But when you look at it that way, nowhere in my mind's eye in Perthshire is cheap anymore because of the prices of things. So if you're going to spend £4 or £5 more, and we're not even the most expensive restaurant in town, all of a sudden you're going to see the value for the money. And I don't think I've ever had a customer walk out and say that wasn't worth the money. And that's what we aim for, and to get them to walk back through the door again.
No, I agree, because I've been a chef myself, and the quality that you do, and the attention to detail that you do, and the mixture of the different ingredients you bring together. It's not just any old sauce; it's a sauce that's been really thought through.
Yeah, sure.
And you do use a lot of local produce, and you even have a scavenger who brings in.
Forager.
Scavenger. Sorry, not scavenger.
I do a bit of scavenger.
Goes around the local bins and brings you some delicacies in. No, but you do have a forager who goes out and brings special.
Yeah, it's amazing what's on our doorstep, and there's a few restaurants, more so in Scotland now, in the cities that are making use of this. And I say to every chef, open your door, get out there and have a look. It's free.
Exactly.
Sake, and this
I mean, too many restaurants and that still charge high prices are very reliant on the freezer.
Very much so.
It's just laziness sometimes. I just don't understand some of it.
I mean, there's chefs out there that may feel that they're working in an environment where they're just opening tins and everything. There's nothing wrong with that if they know about the training and they can adapt themselves to it and take on a little bit more. But as I say, open a book and just get into it.
And be inspired. You can tell the difference between a cook and a cook with a chef, and a chef who's got passion. And you've definitely got passion. In fact, you've also set up 2 other eateries as well within the city.
Yeah, we worked before we took over the restaurant. Became business partners with Scott and Penny Edwards, who own the Parklands Hotel, where I was head chef, and then we decided to go together to get the restaurant. So I still oversee Number One the Bank and now 63 at Parklands restaurants within the Parklands Hotel. The Number One the Bank is a sort of less formal, but I love it. It's bistro cooking. It's earthy. It's fantastic. And obviously 63 at Parklands is a little bit more refined. If you're looking for the mixture of 2, then and you've got great accommodation at the hotel.
Is it a different menu?
Yes, all 3 menus are different. All based around the same sort of ethos, local produce best we can when it's good. But it's got my style across it, which seems to be working.
which is really good. Now listen, if you're thinking of having a really good night out, but it's not, you don't even need to have it for a special night out. It's really affordable restaurants or restaurants, and the food is top quality. I mean, you'll get tastes that you wouldn't get anywhere else. The combination is absolutely fantastic. So I'd make sure you check out all three of those restaurants. Now listen, we've also got a few other shows that we're filming with Graeme as well. So make sure you look out for those as well.
Well, that's been a great show. Between chocolate, food, thinking about Christmas, and the wee business bash, which is a Christmas night out for the small businesses in Perthshire, it's a busy festive.
Oh, am I coming along to the Wee Business Bash?
Yes, you are. You've got to put the date in your diary. It's Thursday, the 14th of December. And do you know the thing I've been missing about from the shows recently?
What's that?
Well, it's actually been my card making activities.
Your crafting.
My craft card making activities. I hope that Alan's will be on next week, because I've got lots of people on my Christmas card list for this year. So I need to get myself busy of an evening with my card making activities.
Well, I look forward to seeing the products of your wild imagination.
Good.
Thanks very much to all our viewers, and we'll see you again next week.